Would you stand alone against a giant? No armor, no sword, just faith. While soldiers trembled and kings stayed silent, one boy stepped forward. Not because he was strong, but because he believed. This is the story of how faith defeated fear, and how the smallest one in the crowd became the greatest hero of them all. He wasn't a soldier, he didn't wear armor, he had no sword, no army behind him, just a sling, and a faith larger than fear. This is the story of how one shepherd boy stepped onto a battlefield where kings and warriors trembled, and changed history with a single stone. Across the valley stood a giant, Goliath of Gath, over 9 feet tall, clothed in iron from head to toe. His voice thundered through the mountains. For 40 days, he mocked God's people, daring someone, anyone, to fight him. But no one moved. Not the king. Not the captains. No one. Far away, David was tending sheep in Bethlehem. He played music, sang praises, and watched over the flock. He wasn't thinking about battles, but one morning, his father sent him on a simple errand. Take this bread to your brothers at the battlefield. It seemed ordinary, but destiny often hides in small tasks. When David arrived, he didn't see a fight. He saw fear, men hiding, faces pale. Then he heard it, Goliath's roar echoing across the valley, cursing the God of Israel. David's eyes narrowed, his heart stirred. This wasn't just an enemy of men. This was defiance against God. Others laughed. You? Face the giant? They said. But David wasn't listening to fear. He walked calmly to a stream, kneeled down, and chose 5 smooth stones, 1 for the giant, 4 just in case. Not because he doubted, but because faith prepares. He held the sling, not as a weapon, but as a promise. God would be with him. He walked toward Goliath. Each step, the armies watched. Silence hung over the valley. David wasn't the strongest, tallest, or bravest by man's standards, but he believed in a God bigger than giants. The giant laughed. David did not flinch. Faith doesn't shout. It stands. He reached into his pouch, placed a single stone in his sling, and began to spin it. The wind caught it. Time seemed to stop. 1 breath, 1 throw, 1 shot of faith. The stone flew. The giant fell, and the ground shook with the weight of disbelief. No one cheered at first. There was only silence. Then awe. Then victory. God had not chosen the strongest. He had chosen the willing. David held no sword, yet the battlefield belonged to him. The world had forgotten this boy. Too small, too young. But God hadn't. He saw a warrior not in size, but in heart. David would one day become a king. But his greatest victory wasn't in a palace. It was in a valley where fear fell and faith stood tall. When your giants roar, remember David. You don't need to be the biggest to win, just the boldest in faith. If this story moved you, share it with someone who needs courage today.